There was a time when man sat by fire and language was rare and there were no phones, and he would always wonder why this enormous white thing would follow him home every night. But man, of course, had something. He had berries, fear, a really sharp rock, and a clever brain. He didn't speak much, but he dreamed. He dreamed of warmth and of God and of not being eaten by carnivorous beasts. Something was going on with this being, this human. Something that could only be described as one of the first cosmic flickers of what will become known as consciousness. And in that flickering light, something awoke. Something that will one day build cities, write poems, small ones and entire books of them. Something that would conquer the stars and ask where dreams came from. And this man did something he would always do. Question. He asked himself, what am I? Where am I? And why am I? This was modern man for a time. Then man began to build cities and started planting stuff, wheat, rice, vegetables. Man started to settle down and farm. He traded freedom for food. He made language and chiseled it onto rocks. He made kings and tax collectors and priests who swore they could make it rain. Man began to look at the stars more and was convinced that we're looking back. He laughed with friends and told them stories of serpents, of God, of cosmic battles in heaven while he fought smaller ones on earth. He had many great vast fields of fruitful agriculture. Yet he asked himself, why am I sweating away for this? What's the point if one day it all goes wrong? What am I? Where am I? And why am I? This was modern man for a time. Then man had ideas, big ones, logic, democracy, morals, ethics, and empires. He wrote laws and drew borders and built roads. He wrote poetry and philosophy. He wrote about love and war and friends and enemies and everything in between. But yet he would question himself and question the meaning of life. Asks, where am I? Asks, why am I? Then came trouble, and of course man knelt. He knelt before kings and before God. Man knelt before pestilence and before misery. He prayed with cracked lips and starved stomachs. He faced famines and feared sin and feared dying in the mud with his name forgotten. He waited for salvation that would claim his soul. Built places of worship so tall they scraped the door of heaven just to help him from his sorrow. The resilient mind of man held strong. Alchemists scribbled symbols and margins, circles and stars, fire and mercury. He wasn't a scientist, but he felt something, a symmetry, a hum, a divine definite grammar beneath the nature of chaos. Yet, still, he asks, why all this suffering? Where am I? Why am I? Then man remembered. He remembered that he could question things and paint beauteous stories and wonderful worlds and bleed for truth. Man dissected corpses and made them into stone. He wrote books, one or two, and entire libraries of beautiful cosmic knowledge. The universe began to speak to man, like God finally let it off its leash. It spoke louder and louder and louder, and it felt like it was getting louder every single day. But for what? He still questions. What is all this? Why am I? Then man found coal and everything got faster. The world spun quicker. Time became a currency. Man traded horses for horsepower, craft for convenience. And somewhere in all that noise and all that clatter, something went quiet. Perhaps that flicker, that hum. But some still heard it. Poets, artists, madmen, and sometimes children. Those who stood too long in the forest. Those who stared for far too long at the stars. Then man had speed, wars, and man on the moon. Man split atoms, then himself. But man kept asking, why am I? He thought he found answers, but only raised more questions. This was considered modern man. Then there's man you watching on the cellular device would consider modern. He lives in towers made of glass and searches how to be happy. And obviously, answers for those questions don't come easy. He asks himself, is this it? I'm never happy. Why? Why am I? But nevertheless, man evolves. He always does. He makes his thoughts software and builds cloning machines and political lenses that watch everyone and everything, never taking breaks. Man becomes even more clever, creating a new language to understand God and why he exists. He creates new warheads, entire ships full of them. Warheads so powerful it would be stupid to use them for war. Farms are replaced by 3D printers and coal by the stars. Tries to come to understand this pen pal he'd known for so long, himself. Still, no happiness. Still, he questions, why am I? Eventually, man sees no use for Earth and set out for other rocks. He says goodbye to the ruins of the White House, then the Eiffel Tower, then the pyramids, and then the very forest he came from, without even knowing. All as one. All one culture. No black, no white, no Brit, no brown. He set on for a new adventure to answer the mystery of oneself. He expands so large he dominates 120 planets a colony. He divides himself into different things. Things that are skyborn and flying is the only way he knows, Homo celestis. Things that are green and is nature itself, Homo sylvanus. Things made of pure iron, Homo ferratus. Things that are sunborn, Homo solari. Yet, even after all this, he still asks why he suffered. Oh God, why am I? This was considered modern man. Then he escaped his flesh, walked in every path of God's limitless creation, learned everything to be learned, saw the very face of God and asked him why? Why am I? But he never answered, not once, not even after making oneself the universe and the universe oneself. There was no more crying, no sorrow, but boredom. 5,000 millennia of it. 5,000 millennia of making the most beautiful things that were, and not a single chuckle was made. Oh God, why am I? So man decided to be everything that was, and everything that is, and everything that was going to be. Every animal, every feeling, every particle, every universe. Just to feel what it's like. But he can't feel. He can't even feel bored. Why? Why? Until the day comes when man sees his first world, his first forest, and he rushes back the way he came to the beautiful place that once was his flesh. He saw his car, his bike, his music, his dances, his farms. What? Why? He approaches faster and faster, seeing glee and happiness when he even asks for it. He starts to feel again, happy, sad, joyful, angry, red, blue, yellow. He starts to cry because of the mourning of the battlefields, then because of life, the new times. The prodigal God comes home drunk on entropy, whispering apologies as he cries to the beauty of his first home. The architect of soul and galaxies returns in rags, bartering starlight for mercy. Man touched the ground and forgets about godhood and borders and kingdoms and galaxies. He forgot about the flag that he died under and saw quiet, not peace, not yet. He remembered what it meant to be in the dark with no hand to hold and yet to still laugh in the face of it. He stops worrying about why he is and remembers that flicker of consciousness. Even after exploring all of everything and conquering all of everything, he is still man. Then another thing emerges, a she, a woman, an Eve. She says to him, calm yourself, let us start something new. What? Man said. And she said, something that may not cry when it's born, or laugh at farts, or make glorified triangles, but will wonder like you, and try like you, and fail like you, and succeed like you, and live like you. You are still the creature by the fire, still wondering, still dreaming, still listening to the hum, still human. That is modern. Ah, man said, but who are you? Don't worry about it, she said. Then let us hunt by morning, then walk by afternoon, then laugh and drink by night, man said. So they sat by the furnace, and they had berries, fear, a really sharp rock, and a clever brain. And man said, I think, therefore, I am. Into the Garden of Eden, they return and abide, modern forever. Man's name became Adam.